Hi, I'm Shadi Lakviter. Welcome to Coffee Bookshelves. Today we are talking about Once Upon a K-Prom by Kat Cho. Now, I actually met Kat in the autumn of 2023. I was signing books at Books of Wonder in New York, which sounds very glam, but it was like one of my first signings, so I was quite excited. And I didn't realize that around the corner from the table where I was signing books, there were another two authors also signing books. So on my way out, I saw them and I was like, oh my gosh, hi, because I love meeting fellow authors. And I saw one of the books on the table was XOXO, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're Axio. And so like I knew one of the authors because I love her books. I didn't know the other lady, Kat Cho, but we took some photos together and I was like, right, I have to read her books. So this is the first one I've read, Once Upon a K-Prom, and even if I hadn't met her, I would still be reviewing it because it's such a fun, good book. It is about a girl, 17-year-old girl called Elena Soo, who is in high school and she feels very overshadowed by the people in her life. She's got a very popular twin brother, highly successful older sisters, and a very confident best friend. But probably the most spectacularly sort of larger than life person in her life is her childhood best friend, Robbie Choi, who is internationally famous because he's part of a really huge K-pop band. They haven't seen each other in years. He moved back to South Korea, and so they've been living apart for a good 7 years. So she's in high school and she sort of keeps her head down and sort of gets on with it. But one of the things that she is up to is she's currently running a campaign for her local community centre, which is endangered, and she wants to raise money to help save it. So she's asking the other teens in her high school to spend a little bit less on upcoming prom and use the additional money to help to donate to save the community centre. The campaign is not going very well. And then Robbie Choi comes back into town with his group for promo activities and her sort of humdrum life goes haywire. It's a fun kind of comedic book, but there's a lot of emotional depth to it as well. One of the things that Elena struggles with is her parents and what she feels like is conditional love from them, where her mom particularly only approves of her if she does certain things and it just behaves in a certain way. It just feels very much like the love has to be earned, and that's one of the things she struggles with. And as you read it, she wonders, is it in my head? And it's not in her head, because you can see how she and her brother are treated differently. And she's Korean, and I think maybe part of the culture being baby girls are valued less than boys, and it's something that she struggles with, not just with her parents, also with her grandparents when they go to visit. It feels very much like her brother is embraced and sort of loved on just for being himself, where she is sent to perform chores and run errands, and it's like your value is the things that you do. You have to make yourself useful in order for us to feel that you are of value. So that's something that's really quite hard for her. So I think some of the other themes in the book are she has a fear of change, probably due to her childhood best friend Robbie leaving his family, moving to South Korea. So change is something that's very difficult for her. She's at an age where life is constantly changing, where you're making decisions about university and careers and that kind of thing, and people come and they go. So it's like a really sort of turbulent time for her. Another of the themes is just life goals. She doesn't know really what she wants to do with her life. And, she's 17, she doesn't have to know. But it also feels like when you want to know what your purpose is and you want to pick a path so you can start working towards it, but you don't know what you want to do. And it feels a bit wishy-washy. Again, especially if you've got a friend who, in terms of Robbie, has found their path and is passionate about something and has already launched themselves into their career and is already doing extremely well. It makes you feel even more that, what am I doing? So that's another of the things that Elena struggles with. I feel like it was like a good, fun, light-hearted book with really sort of meaty emotional depth to it. I think it's really useful to have the K-pop theme running through it, because when you think about relationships, in modern times, it's really quite hard to come up with a good obstacle for these two people can't be together because, however, you've got a K-pop sort of setting there, then if somebody's worked really hard to get into a K-pop group and to debut and to start their music career, and the music company has said our only golden rule is that you do not get into relationship, that's a really good obstacle, and that's one of the things that they're dealing with in this book. So the stakes are high. Some of these careers literally at risk, and Elena's heart is at risk. So it's a good, sort of involving, but also fun, and I feel like we could definitely use some fun right now. A really fun book. So would highly recommend for all ages, Once Upon a K-Prom by Kat Cho.